John from Backwards Compatible here, and welcome to World of Tanks. I've never played this game before. I'm not, I would say, an avid tank enthusiast. However, I've had a bit of fun with this. World of Tanks is a free-to-play game on the Xbox 360 and PC. I've got the 360 version here, as you can tell from the colourful buttons. It's from those folks at wargaming.net, so it's one of a plethora of different types of battles with vehicles type games. And I'm just giving it a go. I've already played the tutorial, which familiarised myself with the tanks and how you shoot things and drive through things with them. I've got a bit of cash in one of the games, and I'm just looking at the options here on upgrades. A lot of it involves buying stuff with money I don't have. So I guess I'm going to have to go into the game and grind around a bit to earn some cash. So I'm just choosing a tank here. And you've got a choice of British tanks, German tanks, and American tanks initially. I'm imagining that there'll be more later on, like the Polish tanks and French tanks. Did France do tanks? French tanks? Le tank? I don't know. Anyway, so here I am going through all the menus and looking at the slidey bar things under the names on the right, which are much like, I guess, the comparison bars you have on guns in most games. So here I go. I'm going to load up a new game and jump into it. I'm looking at all the different options here to get into the game. A bit of information in the sort of welcome page. The three tanks you see here have different types of maneuverability and firepower and armour. The track torch, I think it's the German tank. I'm going to give that a go first because it's kind of nippy. It's like the Renault Clio of tanks. As you can see here on the loading screens, you get different information, mainly about how to spend money, but that's fair enough because it's a free-to-play model. It also gives you your map overview and lets you memorise your map. And here we are. Now, along the top you can see those diamond shapes, and they denote the different types of vehicles that your team has loaded. Down the bottom right is obviously the mini-map. Bottom left is your tank, which also shows damage and packages, I think they're called, which are sort of upgrades which appear later on. The reticule you see in white, that, and in my first person view as well, that reticule gives you information about penetration, which is essentially how much damage you can do to the Oppo tanks. The smaller and redder the reticule is, the more damage you do. And much like in real life, how you approach the enemy tanks depends on how much damage you do. So a frontal attack will do less damage than a rear attack. So we're tootling on over to the enemy flag. As in capture the flag, it's more like a conquest game essentially. The nearer you get to the flag, the better it is for your team. You can take their flag from them, much like the conquest mode in Battlefield 4. I've decided to go right out to the middle of the field with absolutely no idea what's going on and try and shoot everyone I can see. You can see the little red diamond there, which is the enemy tank. I am extremely easy to shoot here. So this was my first game and very short-lived. And as you get killed, you can jump straight into a new game. Your tank that you were just using is temporarily in battle. I can't use it again. I have to go and choose a different battle, which is an interesting game dynamic in that respect. You do have to. You can't just focus on one tank at a time. So you do have to kind of spread the love when it comes to upgrading your vehicles. It's nice to have this information in the loading screens. It's good, useful for the beginners. And here I am again. Now, obviously a little bit more cautious. I've got a different vehicle as well. I think this is the American, the T1. And I'm not sort of rushing into battle as quickly as I was before. You can see all my compadres in their vehicles sort of zooming off there as well. And yeah, I'm getting it after this is the first game. I'm getting a good idea of where the enemy might be. And obviously the first sort of 3 or 4 minutes is much like chess, is sort of manoeuvring yourself into positions. And actually, much like a real tank, being high isn't always an advantage because of the limits of the elevation of your cannon. Saying that, obviously, if another tank is... I'm way out of my range there. If another tank's on the same level as you, you should be able to shoot it. And I was quite shocked by the distance that these things can shoot as well, which again adds an interesting aspect of the game. Houses are very useful too. They can block line of fire. You can use them to shield yourself temporarily. Obviously, everything is destructible in this environment. Nearly everything, actually. Some objects are pretty tough. I know the pillboxes that you see now and then are pretty hardy. My vehicle can't actually get up here, so you've also got limitations on terrain, which is also interesting. So, although the game looks fairly simple, there's some sort of design aspects which add a strategy to the game and challenge, which I quite enjoyed. It looks nice as well for a free-to-play game. To be fair, it's they've not spent too much time on lens flare and all that nonsense, but it's enough to make it compelling and interesting to play in. I haven't played on too many environments so far. As you can see here, these are sort of there's a command wheel that comes up, a radio wheel on your left button on the Xbox controller. Left trigger gives you first person mode down your cannon. Right trigger obviously is to shoot. If you are in first person mode, you have to go in the direction your cannon's facing. However, if you're in third person view, third tank view, who knows, you've got a bit more freedom to turn your cannon in the direction you want to shoot whilst travelling elsewhere. I guess that's what you would call strafing in a tank. Now what I should have done here is held back a little bit, because I'm now revealed. I'm waiting patiently to take him out. I should move back. I'm waiting too long. He's obviously shooting me as well. It's a proper sort of cat and mouse game, this, really, especially when it's you get to this stage and it's quite, it's not fast paced and frenetic like a first person shooter, but again it's kind of a nice tonic, really, in terms of multiplayer gaming. It's quite a mellow gameplay in that respect. However, later on it does get more frantic as a variety of weapons come into the fray. You can see from the top here that we're not doing so well. Although, no, to be fair, it's level pegging in terms of the men left over. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing here, but you can see from my left wheel that I'm in a pretty bad way. The yellow reticule, or the yellow slidey indicator there, is obviously my health, and the right one I think is reload speed. So you'll see if I shoot, that green bar will drop and then rise again, and that gives you a visual indication of how quickly you can reload. Obviously, teammates appear as green on the screen, and enemies appear red. He's not in a good position there, really. I can't really shoot whilst he's there, so we're both going for this guy here. I think I wait too long here. Well, he's gone for him already. He's got him. I ought to get out of the way now, and I don't realise there's someone's behind me. Now, getting shot from behind is the worst, because your armour's the weakest there. And what should I do? Should I run away from him and present my rear to him? Yes, let's do that. Manoeuvrability is quite tricky with these. They don't speed around like hovercraft. Yeah, and I was trying to use this house to protect myself, because now I can't shoot down to him on this brow of this hill. My cannon elevation's too high, so I'm scooting around, peeking out. Really, what I should be doing is running away here, because he's much less damaged than I am. And he's got me. And there I go, I'm dead again.
We may have lost this one, but we'll be back.
So after the battle you get a report of your achievements. Mine were pretty pathetic, to be honest. It gives you the ever-pervasive, here's what you could have if you pay us more score, which I've never seen before, but yeah, that's interesting. It shows you your scores. Yeah, pretty pathetic, but I'm not the only one, which is nice. And then I'm back in my garage again. So you can see up in the top right, I've got some cash now, about 9,000 silver dollars, or whatever they are. And I'm thinking I ought to spend some of this. I mean, it's got to give me some sort of advantage in the game. So I'm a bit confused here. I was a bit confused at this stage between the silver and the gold money. I guess the gold money is the premium stuff, which lets you buy them quickly and earlier on in the sort of unlocking of tanks process. But I just thought I'd soldier on and try another vehicle. Another map here called Mines. I'm not entirely sure what the difference is. I guess it's obviously different environment, but it's a bit less sandy. You can see here actually in the screen the controls. I didn't know about the auto aim. Well, that would have helped a lot. And those supply slots will come into effect later on when you've upgraded your tank. And you can see the on the left, that if you have got packages or supplies available, they'll be lit up. So off we go again. Looking at their tanks, they've got 3 heavy vehicles which have slower but more powerful cannons, and 4 sort of middle to lightweight vehicles, and we've got mostly middle to lightweight vehicles. So we're more manoeuvrable than they are, but they're more powerful. So straight away looking at those, the different loadouts with your teams, it gives you an indication of the style of battle that you'll be leading, and also lets you plan ahead. I didn't at this stage. I didn't have my headset on, although I didn't hear any speech coming out of the computer. Sorry, coming out of the Xbox. Although you can send like these basic sort of quick text commands into battle, and I think some actually generate automatically. When I'm being shot quite badly, you probably saw earlier on, I just say help. Hopefully a more savvy tank will come to my aid. But you can also look at the main map on the select button, which is useful, and it's obviously a live map as well. It's nice to take in the scenery as we're travelling. It's quite nice to drive around knowing there aren't any mines on the ground, although, judging from the name of this map, maybe there is somewhere a minefield, who knows. Didn't get a chance to explore too much in this game. You can start to see now, it does get quite tense when the red diamonds appear. And you get an indication of distance as well, to give you an idea of how far you can shoot. Now, I have no idea the range of my cannon. It's something I should have figured out in the selection process on the tank selection screen. And these are things that you learn with experience, but straight away we're already in the minority in terms of tanks. So I'm now actively trying to find a tank. And there we go. Let's give that one a go. He's quite far away. I'm hoping that my reticule will land on him and give me an indication of can I shoot him? No. So I'm going to try and get a bit closer. He's zooming towards me. You can see from the numbers appearing above its head that someone's shooting him and taking off the health. And now my reticle's going from orange to yellow. Sorry, yellow, orange, and red. I'm not entirely sure if I got a shot in there, but now he's close enough to shoot me. But I actually got him first because he was very damaged. So I was lucky there. I think that was my first kill of the game. You can see down the bottom left-hand corner that little yellow exclamation mark and the word detected. So if that comes up, you've got to start thinking about fighting back or getting away. Now I think that was quite a good shot from me because half of his health went, but look at my health. Oh god. So they're quite quick, snappy games, these. I mean, that was what, about 3 minutes? So it's it's a nice pick up and play game, and I think I would imagine once you're loaded out with more spec'd up weapons, you might find the games last longer. In fact, the game is still carrying on. I mean, it's still playing whilst I'm out here in my garage because I've died. So you don't hang around and watch the game. You just play, earn cash, upgrade, play, earn cash, upgrade. It's kind of quite a fluid process. Right, so let's see how I progress in this. You can see here on that screen the penetration chance box just above my tank there, and that gives you an idea of how viable your shots are. And again, we're pretty level actually in terms of our loadouts this time around. The yellow one's me, obviously. And I think I'm back in the Traktor, the German tank. You can see it's much more manoeuvrable. So we're off now to search for, oh, there's one guy there already, search for tanks, but also trying to take the flag. I didn't really focus on that in earlier games, but I'm going to try in the next few games to try and go near that flag and see what happens. I am kind of learning as I go along here. There's no guidance as such in terms of tactics. You may have noticed that tank to my right there, hidden in the bushes, had camouflage on him. So you can actually upgrade your tank's look and designs You can add emblems and logos to them, and again, those designs are not permanent. So you kind of rent them out. You get like a sort of a 7 day, or I think it's a month rental on those colours, and then it all costs cash, in-game cash, which you can either buy or grind and earn. So again, it makes no difference to how powerful you are, and I think that's quite a nice format for free to play. Is you pay for the skins or the outfits or the hats, whatever it is, and it adds a kudos to your avatar and player without affecting the gameplay too much. I'm again in a pretty bad position here, quite easy to pick off, so I'm going to scoot away. Oh dear, I can't get up that hill. I presented my rear to the enemy. So over here you can see that that glowing icon there was a colleague requesting fire, and what they're saying there really is, I'm getting attacked, could you come and help me out and attack the guy that's attacking me? And I've lost him, so he obviously they stay detected for only a certain amount of time, which is good, on both sides. I've shot the gun there a little bit too. I've shot too early, so it's a bit pointless really. I'm going to get a little bit closer, see if I can take him out. You might recognise this road from the first game we played, so I'm going to try and go up to that house again and sort of hide behind the corner. It's a long, slow climb up this hill. There's a chap over there, he looks damaged, more damaged, or less damaged than I am, but I'm going to give him a go. Let's get up there, chug, 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 up to the house. Can I get through the door? No. Let's go down the side. This does not bode well with a burning colleague next to me, but let's give it a go. I'm going to try and be patient and careful and not get stuck and take this guy out. You can see here, give it enough time to edge forward. There's my reticle. It's going red, wait, too late. He's got me first. So his sights must have been very similar to mine, but yeah, we got a bit of a leeway on and you get to see a kill cam as well, which is quite nice, where the guy that killed you. And I'm going back to the garage yet again. Okay, so I'm just going to show you a little snippet here, just to show you how you can start to think tactically. So me and my colleague here have both found a fairly cool position to take out the enemy. We're higher up than them, so our shells will actually travel further as gravity takes them further down. So this guy over here, he's obviously battling someone else down there. You can see my reticule. If I just pitch it right, I should be able to, one of these guys down here, take him out quite nicely from a distance, and you'll see in a second an example of how the hits, a couple of guys over there, you see their health bars above their heads. You see it drop, 36 points taken off, and they're just sitting there, so I'm sort of taking pot shots. Obviously they know where I am now, they probably spotted me. He's obviously moving away from me now, so me and my colleague next to me here are sort of just taking our share of kills here. So yeah, you can sort of be quite cunning and take out the guys from a distance from a nice elevated position. So yeah, the only downside, of course, is you're also very obvious to the enemy, and as soon as you are taking several shots, they'll know you're there and they'll detect you. So much like a sniper, what I should have done really is grab my kills, grab my points, and then moved on. As it was, you can see the trace of fire from the enemy coming over towards us. We're detected with a little symbol down the bottom left-hand corner, and our time is not long upon this earth. And off I go again, showing them my rear, which is a silly thing to do. I should always back out, not turn around. And I'm off again. Again, there's the kill cam from the guy on the opposite side of the valley. So there we go. So back to the garage, and what I want to show you now is the system where you can start to upgrade your vehicles. If you look at the X at the bottom there is glowing blue. That blue X is an indication you can actually upgrade your vehicle with packages. And if you fill up all the packages that you can use on it, you can give your vehicle elite status. And this kind of reminded me a bit of the Mass Effect weapon and biotics customization system. You have to do it in a certain order, a prerequisite, and it's researching your kit and then implementing it. So you can see here, I'm still kind of faffing about and trying to figure out what's going on. And you know, I guess I could read some manual somewhere online to know more about this. But I was quite intrigued by the upgrade system. So you've got packages, consumables, equipment, and so on. Customizing I'll show you later on as well. But you can see here it's green, so I can research it. And now, if I want to purchase it, I can. This all uses up the cash which I've earned. And you can see here the cash is the silver coins rather than the gold, so I can actually afford some of these. And as I buy them, my cash goes down and blah blah blah. So usual thing, usual sort of system of upgrading. I'm hoping this is going to give me an advantage in battle. Now, once you've upgraded enough, you can then buy a new tank, which I come back to later on. Consumables, as the name suggests, are things you can buy for battle. Some are free and some are, you know, have a cost to them. So I'm just buying a few things here, seeing what I can buy. They're quite useful if you get shot. You can, you know, put your fires out so you repair more quickly. And obviously some things I can't buy straight away because they're just gold only. Again, always that hook to go premium, which is again, you know, one of those things. They're quite expensive, and I'd love to have them, but I can't. So I'm going to go back in and play around with the customization now. You'll see here you can, when you purchase your different designs, you've got you know, you've got to use gold for permanent, or you can rent them for a certain amount of days. And it's nice because if you're a real enthusiast here, you actually get information about when these camouflage designs were used. And there we go, looking at all the different names. There's quite a few down there. Most of them probably don't apply to me, especially not Welcome to Hell. So I was trying to find one that was tongue-in-cheek. I'm not entirely sure how anyone could read these for the distances we're playing, but there you go. And you can see we're back to the beginning again, and I think I chose Alley Oop in the end because that's the most whimsical one I could find. And you can see if I spin around there, the inscriptions on there, and not so well. I'd like to be able to make my own emblem like you can in other games, so I kind of thought, forget that. Any road, I want to go back and see what else I can do in terms of upgrades for my other vehicles. So over to the other tank, and let's see what I can do with that one as well. I'm fairly indiscriminate with my upgrades. Let's just, you know, put everything on there and see what happens. Oh look, keep going, and if you do enough upgrades, you should get elite status on your tank. And there it is, and you can get an achievement for it. Oh, how lovely! I'm an elite tank. Right, let's get all the upgrades done out of the way. Ka-ching, 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 and so on. Oh, I'm going to run out of cash soon though, by the looks of it. There we go. Bish bosh. No, need more cash. Right, okay, so I'm out of that money now. You can see I've got like 1 star left. Let's go for battle. What's next? Let's have a go at trying to get one of these flags. This old map again. So you can see here the green diamonds that are clipping in. Obviously, people sort of entering the game. So I'm going to try and go down and get and see what happens when I get near the flag. I've just noticed that little ping icon in the bottom top left corner of the screen. Off I go. Let's go through a few walls. The sun's starting to set as well. I wonder if any of these maps are at night time. I'll have to play some more and let you know. That should make for an interesting game. I doubt it somehow. And I'm gonna go off in the general direction of the flag. You'll recognise that land mass in the middle there we were here earlier on. And for the sake of brevity here, I'm just going to zoom ahead until we get to quite close to the flag, and you can see what happens. Obviously, the aim of this game is to take your enemy's territory, and I'm being all sneaky here, going through the bushes. And although they have a full complement, their full team, you can see that the enemy base capture indicator is slowly across the screen, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to get taken out here. I guess they've all gone ahead and they're fighting the enemy tanks, but I'm just going to sit here and chill out and take advantage of this deserted part of the map. And here we go. Yeah, I'm hoping this is going to bring me some much needed points so I can keep on upgrading my tank. And then obviously, the whole sort of token economy starts kicking into place. Win and upgrade, win and upgrade. There we go. Enemy base captured. Game is won. Final score comes up. How did we do? Achievement unlocked. Victory. My first win. There we go. And I get another avatar as well. Oh, that's nice. So there you have it. The first kind of half an hour of me pootling about in World of Tanks. Yeah, I can see it being quite an interesting, addictive game, and I need to play more. So expect to see more gameplay coming up as I progress through the ranks, and I may even broadcast something live at some point, so you can see me playing live. I hope you've found this illuminating. It may kindle an interest in trying this out. So obviously if you've got an Xbox 360, it's a no-brainer, it's free, have a go, have a pootle about and see what you think. And thanks for watching. Cheers.